Hi there, I'm Dr. Andrea Moore with A Better Way MD and I'm welcoming you to week 6 of our 60-week journey for a better way to lose weight. Now, last week on week 5, I asked you to give up flour and sugar, and some of your all's heads just exploded because there's no way you can give up flour and sugar. But for those of you that did, I want to say congratulations. Giving up flour and sugar is one of the hardest things that you have to do in this program. Now, the good news is that you don't have to give it up forever. It's not an absolute sentence for no flour, no sugar ever. And in fact, in week 11, I'm going to show you how to add it back into your diet. But for now, I want you to focus on no flour, no sugar, because as we learned last week, it lowers your dopamine levels, which decreases your cravings, and it helps you to reconnect with your hunger scale, which is super important for weight loss. But lowering your dopamine doesn't actually help with weight loss. But what it does do is not eating flour and sugar will lower your insulin level. And insulin is our fat storage hormone. And as long as insulin levels are high, you are adding fat. And the only way you can lose weight is to lower your insulin level. And if you don't give up flour and you don't give up sugar, you're not going to lower your insulin level enough to be able to tap into your fat stores to lose weight. So that is why it is so important to give up flour and sugar so that you can have a lower insulin level. Now, I am going to draw a graph. I tried to do this without drawing the graph first, like having it already done, but it was not pretty. So we're going to do this really quickly. So x-axis, that is your insulin levels, and the y-axis is time. So, for our diets this day, now you have to look at the back of my head, and I'm really sorry, but I'm going to try to do this without having you to do it too much. Okay, so here we go. We wake up. We have a mocha latte. We have breakfast. We have a little snack at about 10 a.m. We have lunch at noon, maybe a little brownie because we're so tired at about 4 o'clock. And then we have our big dinner. And then some of us like to have a little snack after dinner, and then we go to bed. So that's how we typically eat nowadays. And our insulin levels are high the whole day. And I know some of you are thinking, yeah, but that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to keep our insulin levels up high so that our blood glucose, our insulin levels are steady so we don't get hungry. But that's just BS, because actually, the higher your insulin levels are, the hungrier you are. So, our goal is to bring our insulin levels down, and we do that by not eating flour and sugar. That's way number 1. And way number 2 is to limit the time that our insulin levels are up, i.e. the time that we're eating. So, again, another graph. Insulin, time. We eat 3 times a day. We wake up. We eat breakfast. We eat lunch, we eat dinner, we watch TV and go to bed. Now, for those of us in America, this is the way we kind of eat. Smaller breakfast, bigger lunch, larger dinner. But all of these flat places, that's where your insulin level is low enough for you to be able to lose weight and tap into your fat stores so you can lose weight without calorie restricting. This is how we do it. So, 3 meals a day is your action tip for this week. I want you to continue to do no flour, no sugar, but I also want you to limit your food intake to 2 to 3 times per day. And that's going to bring that insulin level down. Now, it's necessary to lose weight, but it's also necessary to prevent insulin resistance and diabetes. And here's the deal. If you gain weight, your insulin level is going to go up. And at some point, you start to get insulin resistant, where your cells stop taking in glucose. And so your pancreas has to keep making more and more insulin to keep your blood glucose level normal, which is at about a teaspoon of sugar. That's how much glucose is in your blood system in a normally functioning body. Now, at some point, your pancreas just poops out and it can't make enough insulin. And in fact, it fails. And that's type 2 diabetes. Now, here's the scary thing, folks. Between insulin resistance and diabetes, that time frame is about 10 years. So If you are already seeing higher insulin levels, then it's time to do something. And the way to do it is no flour, no sugar, 2 to 3 meals a day, and hang in there. It will get better. Your cravings get better. Your hunger levels go down. All kinds of things. Great things happen when your insulin level goes down. So that's it for week 6, and I'll see you next week for week 7. Take care.